What is up, ladies and germs? Welcome back to another episode of We Draft Paper. In this pod, we did a pick pod, two pods of four for pick two draft. So, yeah, jumping in here just right away. Friendly Neighborhood is a pretty strong card. Feeling good about that. And it's pick two, so I have options here. I will say preemptively, I get, I try to just take good cards, and I end up being a lot of colors, and I prioritize fixing a lot. And I ended up going 1-2 for the deck entirety. I think that this was probably the right pick right off the bat, but come to find out, everyone was trying to play Selesnya, web slinging, or whatever have you. I do like the Daily Bugle Reporter, to be noted, but I think starting here is a good place to start if we're just looking at those things. Pictures of Spider-Man, really, really good in those creature-heavy decks, and I felt good about those. So hoping that one wheels and going from there. So not committing ourselves to anything at this point. It wasn't an overwhelming pack by any means. So I didn't feel bad or good or neither. But then we see the Skyward Spider. So love this card. It's probably one of my favorite cards of the set. Just 2 mana, 2/2 Ward 2. And then when it becomes modified, it gets flying. Like, the card can just take over games. So I'm looking at Jackal because at this point, I think this is actually the moment. Just the second pick of just going all in rails. But I was looking at this card. I don't think I took it here. I think I ended up taking it on the wheel, which the card is not great. You need the pigeons and things like that to make sure you're hitting your one drops to give it its first counter. But I'm looking at the Silver Slade, and I'm like, well, if it does come back, I'll at least have something to put counters on something. So, in that, it's a 1/1 for one, or it's a 1/1 for two, and then from there, and we get another rare pass to a spot here. This is kind of like what I'm like, man, I'm just going to take good cards. And this card is serviceable. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's basically pseudo recursion because what it does when it enters, you exile a creature on the battlefield and a creature in the graveyard, and then once spot die or leaves the battlefield, you put it on the bottom of your library, and then everyone gets their cards back but returned to their hand. So you basically get something from the graveyard to get back to your hand. So it's just kind of like disruption slash a decent body. And yeah. Hot dog carts looking pretty good here. Oh yeah, Jackal. So Jackal is a 1/1 trampler for two for Simic. And then whenever you cast a creature equal to its power, mana value equal to its power, it gets a +1/+1 counter, and you get to make a copy of it. So I needed some pigeons to really get going. My curve ended up being fine, but it was it was a real option to. I just kind of wanted to force it. The card is not good. It just shouldn't make any decks. I don't think. I think I would have. I ended up playing it for the most part, but I sided it out often for cheap removal and things like that for the matchups I was having. I think I got one city landscape in that first pack, but looking in here, this is kind of a funny pick. Not here, but the first pack or the second pack. But I pick up some fixing here. But look at all these Rakdos cards. So the guy adjacent from me, so 2 spots away. He ended up opening the 5 pip. Look at this pick. This is fun. So I'm just off the rails. So I'm like, well, these are a lot of colors. Let's just take fixing super high and jam them all. That was my strategy. And honestly, I was kind of very laxed. And I was happy to wheel the mini pictures of Spider-Man or whatever it's called. But so the Jackal was very speculative. I was like, I'll take it, I guess. I'll make it happen if I can get some 1-1 counter synergies. And I did have some modification synergies that ended up being fine. It won me a couple games. Like I said, throughout the night I was 1-2, but my first round against Lawson, which you guys will see gameplay of today, because we just get put together. It's just what we do. But he beat me in 2. His deck just curved out really nicely. But I like Wraith here, kind of to add to the modification kind of pseudo like archetype that I'm running with. So, but we have the multiversal passage too. Pretty sure I did take these. Yeah. So, for whatever reason, I thought I was the first pick. I took 2 lands. Like, man, I'm all in on this 5 color nonsense. But that's what we did. And like I was saying earlier, like I really didn't enjoy the. I'm not liking this set. It's just not fun. It's just boring. I think the simplicity of it is just unexciting for me. But I still have a couple more paper drafts left in me, like to still just kind of try different things. Like I purposely kind of like went off the rails here, and even though I saw like my Rakdos signs and everything that I could have really took advantage of. So I was actually, this didn't really work out. I think this is the pack that I may have taken 2 lands. Yeah, this is the pack that I ended up taking 2 lands when I could have just this is the screaming in my face that I should have been like Rakdos things. But with the Hobgoblin and then the other 3-drop, was it 3-drop 5/4 or something like that, and every turn I can discard or whatever have you. But or Green Goblin, pardon, and then Ultimate Green Goblin. So that's fun. Any rate, I ended up just taking fixing here, which I'm glad I did for the deck that I ended up playing, because the one good thing about this deck was like card quality was quite there, but no, it lacked synergy. It had card quality, and it had great fixing. So based off those things, I was like, well, this is going to get some wins. And it ended up did. It was pretty good. This pack, I remember, was quite unexciting. So I'm like, I don't think I took the Crave. I think I took Doc Ock and a land. Obviously, when you're full in on just whatever colors, like 5 color nonsense, lands are gold. So I'm feeling fine at this point. Like, I have no real bombs or anything. I have the big Rhino, which I was actually, as difficult as it is to cast, I was very happy to have a card that can just have me going over the top. But this set just calls for most of the decks that just are stuff on the board with everything and just having, board stalls of just hanging out, staring at each other's armies of whatever. Yeah, I had to read the Jackal again because I was like, does it say permanent or just creatures? But it did just say creatures. I'm looking at some of the colorless cards and cheap green cards. in cheap green cards just to keep me going, making sure I'm curving out at some capacity. Casting my spells, I did not have mana issues once. There was one game that I had to give up because I couldn't draw a third land, but like the fixing itself was non-issue the whole time. So here, I mean, when you're playing 5-color decks, it is good to sometimes to look at some decent colorless cards, because it doesn't matter. It gets around all like bad fixing or anything. So that was my consideration here. But I think I ended up taking the counterspell and the Craven. I didn't end up playing the counterspell. I ended up with 2 Cravens, and one made the deck because I had some big cards to make it kind of chunky, so that felt fine. Yeah, just looking at all these Rakdos cards. But the one guy that was adjacent from me ended up being Rakdos. He ended up getting the 5-pip Venom card or whatever, that indestructible, yada yada, but he immediately kind of saw that Rakdos was open and jumped on there, so he was there. And then I had 2 Bant players next to me. So green, I ended up getting most of the green out of everyone, that's for sure. But I was taking green pretty highly just because I knew it was going to help me fix my mana with like the mana dorks that are in there. Like Guy in the Chair was great for this deck, and then just big chunky creatures. I mean, like this deck, like yeah, I'm in 5 colors and things, but the games are like a little unexciting. The games against Lawson, like I wish I would have had gameplay of the games that I won, because there was exciting parts, but a lot of it was just board stalling. The death of Gwen Stacy's super great here, and then the Web Warriors. The Web Warriors, that card's fantastic. That card won me a couple games tonight. Brooklyn Visionary, that Spider-Man Brooklyn Visionary, really good card. I like how it just puts it in play tapped, but you can get some cheap play out of it. But I wasn't web slinging or had things to kind of enable web slinging as much. So I chose not to go down that path just because I wasn't playing around it. I was just looking at card quality. Yeah, Guy in Chair card's great. Guy in Chair and Web Warriors. No, I think I passed on the Guy in Chair. I may have a copy at this point already, or one, but I ended up at the very end with 1 copy. Scorpion. No. So I had kind of like an array of spider heroes and villains. So like I had some synergies going with some, and sometimes it played out nicely, and sometimes it didn't. Professional Wrestler was great in this deck. Just getting that treasure token was pseudo ramp and fixing as well. Yeah, and also looking at the 2-drop here to kind of fill a curve. I think I take the 2-drop and the Professional Wrestler. Not really caring for shock. Got premium removal here. I think I skipped on because I took the Ezekiel Sims, and then I took maybe a land. No, I think I passed on this land. I think I took the Dino Spider. Yeah. Just looking at the big green cards, like things to help out size, and especially when you're playing in a 4-person pod. So it was weird how it happened, because in our 4-person pod we had 2 pods that were right next to each other. But like how the rounds were, we just played against anyone. Like I played round one against Lawson, which was at the opposite end in the other pod, as the rounds usually go. Guy in chair. Shout out to that guy. That swoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I've been incredibly impressed with in this format. With the kicker draw card, super relevant, but it breaks up a lot of things that they're trying to do, especially like when they're web slinging and things like that, and like unfavorable attacks heading your way that they're just gonna have to web sling their way, blah blah blah. Breaking that up before that goes down, then also against the Mayhem decks, like with Carnage, or it was a Green Goblin, 3/3 for 5, Death Touch flying. But yeah, just breaking that up with before they draw all those cards. I had when I was playing the Rakdos guy in the third round, he he drew 6 cards off one turn for that. Here's the final form of the deck. As you can see, this fixing is super great. Spot's good. I got the Rhino, got the Dino. I got good fixing here. These are some sideboard cards on the left with Whoosh and a couple red removal spells. I did side in pretty nicely like that. And yeah, we got another first round with Lawson. So every time I'm like, are we going to do it again? He's like, oh yeah. So Lawson and I are also going to be looking to do some Winston drafts and teaching people how to do different forms of limited, such as Winston, which is our perfect our favorite two-player draft format. And we keep track of how many wins we have against each other, and I'm pretty sure we're 10-10. Like we're tied at 10-10. But we like to put stakes on it sometimes and everything too. But yeah. He got this playmat at MagicCon Atlanta. I'm jealous. It's such a good playmat. Yeah, so his matchup and his pod, like a lot of people forced Selesnya pretty hardly. Pretty intensely. In this format, especially at our store, just because everyone's doing the web slinging thing and the counters thing, and but I think there was, out of the 8 people that were drafting tonight, there was 4 of them that were in green and white of some variation. Some were splashed in other colors, and others were just straight forcing Selesnya. So we get some mulligans going. Does Lawson get me in too? Yeah, it does. I do think he gets me in too. But any rate, find a happy 6 that I'm willing to play. He curves out really nicely on me, and once again we were showing off some of our humor to one another, because I give him a hard time for playing like combat tricks and stuff like that, which I hate combat tricks, but and he leans into them, especially in his creature-based decks and stuff like that, which I get. Combat tricks are in limited, have its place very much so, and can be explosive, and it's quality ways to blow people out. So he plays a little 2-drop 1/1 that draws a card. I have Jackal out, so Jackal's looking not so great, but I'm curving out really nicely. I got Jackal into a guy in chair. I think I have the silver sable in my hand, so I can put a counter on Jackal. and hoping I can draw into some cards that some 2-drops to kind of copy trigger or copy pump more and do some of that kind of stuff. And that was the kind of the plan. But it doesn't quite go down like that. Let me know what you guys think about these We Draft Paper episodes. This is my favorite form of content that I do, just because there's some free talk, there's some banter of this is what it's like, like as you can see us playing right now, we're just having a good time, and these games are always enjoyable, and games are with your friends are always enjoyable, and limited is just super fun. I think I was not into this format, and I turned around and said, you know what, like let's just draft a pile, and that's what I did, and I was able to get a couple wins off it, and it felt great. You won't see those wins here, but it's special, and I love sharing this with everyone. But if you guys have suggestions on how we can provide better content in this form of live paper drafting, let me know. I'm looking to evolve this as my favorite piece of what we do. So I do appreciate. And that being said, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate that any of the support is possible as well. So I got my counter on young Jackal here. So I just need to draw into some creatures that's going to benefit it with some 2-drops and so on, so I can start jackaling off. Did that work? But so yeah, getting some copies of stuff, buffing the guy, and having a good time. But so as far as like scheduling for the channel goes, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're gonna save for standard and for arena, and Sundays we're gonna commit to We Draft Paper episodes, and then the rest of the videos or days of the week is going to be just arena drafts of different varietals. So I think Duskmorn's out now. I may get a couple more of those things out and try to have some fun with that. Lawson's got a handful of hot dogs, trying to get his life together. Oh, I ended up having a little white-green citizen token, which is what he created right here, and of a metal token that I had got from a Comic-Con a few years back. It was quite a while back, at least a couple years. I think it was actually more like 2 or 3. But yeah, I've had that for a while, and I never get to use it because, well, let me put it in perspective. I got it when New Capenna was just brought out, so it's been a few years. So he's getting a board to which makes my tax not so great. I got a 2/2 Trampler, I got a 2/3 guy in a desk, and then a 2/3 Sable. So like, I suppose that this could have been a good turn to like attack, but I'm pretty sure I'm trying to still set up in a way that because I may have the Web Warriors in my hand, which putting the Web Warriors on this board actually probably was the right play to do, because then I could pump everything, give a modified creature lifelink, and then just kind of get in for more damage. But we're definitely, trying to make decisions in my head. I don't know if I have it. Oh, I actually know what I have in my hand. I have Doc Ock, I believe. But Let's see what I do here. Nope. Yeah, so I do think I have the Web Warriors in my hand, and I'm trying to set up getting some payoffs because so I having the Wraith out is gonna enable me to really start chipping in for some real damage. Doesn't look like it this game, but going into the second game, his deck turns into like a lifelink deck. I'm pretty sure if he didn't gain all the life that he does, he'd be down to like 10 damage or something, and I would have played a lot differently. But he gained so much life off his Aunt May, and yeah, it was brutal. Yeah, he didn't do much stumbling, and he plays this. This is the buff everything. Tap 5, give everything +2/+2, and vigilance, I think. Vigilance, trample, maybe. So like things aren't feeling too good for the home team here, but still playing it out. There's some decent draws that I can have. So see what I draw here. Oh yeah, we're searching. We're digging. As I read the card off for him. Yeah, just a Doc Ock off that guy, which is it's fine. It's gonna kind of stabilize, but there could have been a lot better hits off that. So I guess I didn't have the Web Warriors in my hand, which Web Warriors in my hand would have been busted for this, like this board state. So I would have been pumping up my guy, and but yeah, he was just getting in. There was just kind of no coming back. Yeah, probably a little early scoop on that one. I mean, I definitely could have scrapped a couple turns together, but it just I don't think I was beating that web slinging card, that Selesnya rare. But he may have had two of them. Now that I think about it, I don't remember. But yeah, so he's the effing nerd. I just got new sleeves on my draft kit too, so my draft kit being like my lands and everything. Um, so you get those good new sleeve kind of feel. Not sticky, just slides just right. Pretty sure we both mull here. I think I was looking at a one lander. No, I may have kept. Yeah, Lawson needs to be mulliganing more, for sure. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about us doing Winston drafts. I think it'd be like Winston Wednesday seems fun in paper, and we'd like to um, do different formats. There's times where we kind of go with prevalent um, sets of what we're on. Like, I'm really not right now. I'm not trying to Winston Spider-Man, even though it'd probably be just fine. They would just be really underpowered, And Winston, decisions are different like than normal draft. So he's showing off his hand of all lands, it looks like. And he draws out of it just fine. I will let you know. So he was kind of saying that he was not feeling good about that hand, so he shows the camera. I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. Like you, after the game, I was like, oh yeah, the hand was so bad. You gotta show the camera and so on, but it's all right. Ooh, I played the multiversal whatever land, which is beautifully fixing my curve here with a double pipped card, as he plays one as well. I decided to trade it off here, to offer the trade, and he took it. I just didn't have a good way of getting counters there. So I didn't want him to have a way. So I thought it would be a good idea to kind of trade it off. Or we could have just stared at each other and not been attacking. But if he would have started attacking, I definitely would have been blocking and things like that. I wouldn't have been feeling great about blocking to get blown out or anything. I still feel fine about that exchange. Didn't want him to have it. Had a little 2-drop that can pump for 3. He gets his Bantron. I guess one's with the duel, but he plays Aunt May, and this is where things get rough. He gains a whole lot of life. Knowing that he's not going to bite when I show a pump up, but it is a tell, like when he doesn't want to block and make something happen. But they're just free attacks. And I'm also not under a crazy amount of distress right now. I got my 1/3 guy that whenever I play cast a spell with the mana value 4 or more, gets a +1/+1 counter. And I have some 4+ drops in my hand, so not feeling terrible. Hope he did. Glad he didn't web sling anything there. That's a bad thing about just like, oh, I could take damage here. It's like, well, it's not just that. Like, you're also giving him more value by cheap interaction of web slinging and getting extra value there. So just poking around, just trying to get some stuff going. I think I play Doc Ock here. We talk a lot of smack. Our games are very enjoyable in that way. Oh, I cast the Friendly Neighborhood, making a 1/1. And then that I get to use my citizen token for. And then pumping that guy up there, so I think that blocks kind of like feel a lot better. So we got that going on. So he was gaining just incremental life this whole game. So when I say earlier when I could have got him for, I would have played a lot different if he didn't gain all that life. It's because I have this trampler, this 1/3 trampler that's growing every turn, and there's a lot of points where I could have just been like getting out of reach of trading, And Chumpy's not great with it neither, but like just pumping that trampler up, because I end up getting like 4 counters on it at a certain point. So, and then with like 5 or 6 creatures, like, all right, well, you have to block a 9/11. Good luck. Or you have to either just take a lot of damage and we'll see what happens. But that was kind of the plan, but you just kind of kept going wide and gaining more life, so like the attacks just didn't look as appealing, and like not trying to die on the crackback because he is ahead on the board. And everything's getting bigger. Aunt May's popping off. So he ends up running out of cards in hand. So like that's okay. And I think I have some plays to come, but he just top decks well from here. So if I pump it now at like the 1/3, it only turns into a 5/7, which he can't kill it. Oh yeah, actually he can with the spider he has, and then the 3/3 that are on the far side of his board. But he played that enchantment earlier that makes a little thing and also pumps spiders and makes a spider pump spiders. Spider Lord enchantment of doom. Just trying to play catch up at this point. Missing a couple land drops here and there. So that caused for some stumble. But I mean, I have access to 8 mana. So I play Pictures of Spider-Man, and I reveal I think a Rhino and something else. A Rhino, and then that Dimir card, that 2/3 that connives whenever 2/3 menace that connives whenever a villain enters the battlefield. So Pictures of Spider-Man feels good because it's giving me card advantage. I'm able to get some stuff going and kind of go from there, but just ends up not being enough. I didn't have like great interaction. I had Kapow, 2 copies of Kapow, and which would have been great at any of these points. Would have really liked to kill Aunt May like 10 years ago, back in her prime, but couldn't do it, and that's just how it works sometimes. So yeah, trying to figure out some math of some sort. So like, as you can see, like my fixing and the lands I was playing just made things super smooth. Like I'm playing very mana intensive cards. Like the Rhino is double red, double green, +3, like in which I can cast. So like it's not like the end of the world, because like my fixing ended up being really good. So I'm down to 11 here, not feeling so great, because though I've been spending all this time trying to set up, hasn't felt great to I just haven't gotten any like real battlefield presence. So I think I drew Doc Ock here, and I think it's what I end up playing. I don't remember what I played, to be honest, but at the very least, I'm just trying to figure out what does my mana look like, what I can do with it. I think I almost forget. Because I may have like 2 3 drops here. But I opt to just try to stop the bleeding. So Doc Ock does have um, hexproof because I do have another villain in play, and it gets a 1/1 counter on that little 1/3 guy. Lawson starts getting some big surveils, but he's already up, so like it's like up in like cards on the battlefield, so it's kind of still neck and neck here. I'm just looking to get some impactful draws because we're already on a stalled board as it is. I'm just trying to find a lane to where I can start chipping in or having some beneficial trades with them. Yeah, let's just try to figure out we can find our lane here, but still doesn't feel good for the home team at this point. There's I have a few cards that bail me out. And me having that Pictures of Spider-Man gives me another treasure with 1 and tap. So he continues to still get on the board, and just his surveils were very impactful. He was able to just kind of continue to put pressure on. Oh, he played Sandman. That's what was on there, so that didn't feel too great. Honestly, I killed Sandman. I think I have a Kapow in my hand, and I killed Sandman, but I forgot that it comes back, which feels terrible. No, not a Kapow. A Death of Gwen Stacy or whatever. The saga. Honestly, should have just killed Aunt May. Just wrecking me. Lawson was nice enough to let me change how I'm tapping my lands. So I can get out what's his face, that the 2/3 menace legendary card. Passing the turn, not feeling so good. Not feeling so good at all. But that's alright. Does have an exile all graveyards text on the 3rd chapter, which so what it does, it destroys target creature. I destroyed Sandman, and then the second lore counter goes on, and each player discards a card, and if they do not, they lose 3 life. And he was playing out his hand, and so like took 3 life, and then I drew a land, so I just pitched it to that, so I didn't have to take any more life. And then from there, we had the 3rd chapter of the saga exiles any target player's graveyards, or any number of target players' graveyards. So I could exile mine if I want to. Obviously, don't with the Doc Ock on the field, but I was hoping to cheese him out with the Sandman, but I really wasn't paying much of attention of how much it cost to come to bring it back. But he has to have a land in the graveyard in order to do it, and he did from all of his surveilling. So, yeah, just kind of beat myself in that aspect. So I bolted his face. Alright, getting the Rhino on the board. But still, attacks are not great with their Enchantment Lord and for all spiders and things. And yeah. I chose not to attack here. I mean, and I got a connive for playing a villain. Rhino is a villain, so got a free trigger or draw discard because I have no cards in hand. Kapow actually would have been a really good play as well, or something to keep up next turn, but turns out still losing. Not riveting gameplay in this set, I will say. I think the games I won, I kind of did a thing a little bit, but most of the games are just super straightforward, and a lot of the games are just answered by did you run out of gas? Did you stop playing 1-for-1 creatures and or removal? What was the deal? And then or missing on lands, just normal magic stuff, which just happens anyways. But I feel like those are the main bits of conversation, so it's not like anything crazy was happening. So it's not exciting stuff, but it does cause for some kind of boring gameplay sometimes. Yep, he brings back Sandman, so I got bamboozled before I can exile his graveyard. Which his Sandman is a 8/8, about to be a 9/9. So, once again, not looking good for the home team. So sure, pretty sure he rips the Selesnya rare the next draw, and then it's just way over at that point. Yeah, you put Aunt May away. We don't want to hurt her. She hasn't already just won the game single-handedly at this point. Declaring my blocks there. Obviously need to do something about wild amount of pressure that he's applying to me. He has me down to 7 or 3 or something at this point. And yeah. I love my Kamigawa lands. That's what I've ran with ever since Neon Dynasty, is just having those as my draft lands. They are the best. He asks if I want to exile mine. I'm like, no. We're almost to Doc Ock status of 8/8. Because I think I need 8 cards in the graveyard to make it into a 8/8. And no, it still is Hexproof. So I have this now 4/6, but I'm still just playing creatures. But I need I think he has Spider Girl that's just chipping away at me and killing me that way. And I need something with reach, and I top decked the 3/5 reach. It gives a spider +2/+2 until end of turn once you go to combat. So Opt to just pass. I mean, I can't afford much here. Yeah, I think this is as rare. Yep. So, that's kind of what we got, guys. As this game wraps up, I do appreciate you guys for hanging out, and I appreciate any of the acknowledgement, like, comment, subscribe if you guys could. But as Lawson figures out the line of his one card to crush my dreams and hopes and love for the game, I appreciate you guys very much for hanging out. But until then, we'll catch you guys in the next video, and we'll catch y'all later. Peace.